and welcome to the Daylight Midnight Show. I'm not sure what to do with this cap. Please remember at this point that everything I'm wearing was chosen at random last week by a little game we play called Outfit Roulette. This would not be my choice of headgear for this kind of show. And I'm not entirely sure how to keep this from happening so that you can still see me. I could put it on sideways, but then I'd look like a bad rap act. I could put it with the peak at the back, but then I would look like a businessman from 1989. So I think I will just leave it as it was at the start, and I will just try and keep my eye line in with the camera. So welcome to another show. I can't believe this is number 9. We've got the clock running already, although I've got a feeling we're not going to get anywhere near 10 minutes today. But that's fine. I've set an upper limit, but I haven't set a minimum limit. And I just think if the show's finished, the show's finished. So let's see what kind of show we're going to have by activating the Gregometer. For those of you not familiar with this is a very technical scientific device designed and built by specialists in Spain. And what this does is it registers my heart rate, my body temperature, the rate at which my fingernails are growing. It will collate that information and align it to stuff it's pulling out of the atmosphere around me, and it will sum up in one word the kind of mood I'm in, the kind of atmosphere I'm sitting in, and therefore what kind of show you can expect. And it will beam that onto the expensive display case behind me. So this week I can tell you the one word that the Gregometer thinks will sum up today is optimistic. Strangely appropriate. Do you know what? I am feeling rather optimistic today, and this is a bit strange for me in this year of years that we're having. The kids are back at school, so everything's changed again. The socialising rules are changing. Everyone's a bit confused, a bit unhappy, a bit lost. But you know what? I honestly believe that one way or another, sooner or later, everything is going to be all right. So thank you to the Gregometer for displaying that for you. Now, strange bit of feedback from me. I try not to be negative on this show, but especially today when I'm feeling so optimistic. But I need to have a little gripe about YouTube, because 9 weeks after I launched this show, unless my technological inability has overtaken me, I think I've got this right, YouTube have now made it impossible to schedule videos to go online at midnight. So I now have to post this either at 11:45 PM on a Friday or at 12:15 AM on a Saturday. So the Daylight Midnight Show is now going to become the Daylight 12:15 Show. And I'm not going to change the name of the show because that's ridiculous. Although Daylight 12:15 does have a bit of a ring to it. No, stick with what we started with. Sometimes the simple ideas that you have at the start are the best ones. So we're going to stick with the Daylight Midnight Show, but bear in mind it will now be posting 15 minutes later, and it's not my fault. Now we have to do a Seagulls update. As you well know, Brighton and Hove Albion are the official Premier League team for the upcoming season for the Daylight Midnight Show. And this season starts tomorrow. Now Brighton's game isn't until Monday evening. There's a slight delay for television reasons, but I can give you from a press conference this morning the latest from Brighton manager Graham Potter, who has said just a couple of hours ago, "We have a fully fit squad and the boys are looking forward to getting going again. Some have played more than others with their countries, so we still need to do some assessments, but everyone is training today and that is good for us." And they've also bought a new player. I can tell you that Dutch 20-year-old defender Jan-Paul van Henke has been signed on a 3-year contract from the team NAC Breda. So the squad is growing, my friends, and I think we can go into the season with optimism. So looking ahead to Monday's game, we're playing Chelsea, who finished 4th last year. They also reached the FA Cup final, and they've also spent more money on players than any other team in Europe so far this summer, almost £250 million. What recession, I hear you cry. So fellow Brighton fans, let's hope the Chelsea players are still getting used to each other and we can catch them on the hop. I've looked at 14 different Premier League prediction articles in the last couple of days, and in 12 out of 14 of those, Brighton are listed as favourites to get relegated. But, as I said at the start of the show, I am feeling optimistic today, so my prediction for the first match of the season is Brighton 2, Chelsea 2, go Seagulls. I'm probably going to try and predict every game, and I'll come up with some kind of chart that monitors how well I'm doing, and I'll put that up on the wall somewhere. Although I'm aware of the fact that I'm running out of space in here because I've got another chart to go up in a minute, but we'll get to that. Let's have a look in the brown folder then. This is something I carry around with me at all times, and as I think of little things I scribble them down in here and then I bring them up with you on a Friday. A little question to start with. If I keep flicking bogeys onto our freshly dug garden, will we end up growing a snot tree? Just something I was thinking about while having a cup of tea in the garden. This is how middle-aged I am. It makes my day when I can get some washing dry outside in September. Wasn't it glorious? Wednesday afternoon, hung the towels out, brought them in, didn't have to use the dryer. Wonderful. And, oh yeah, I wrote a little thing about, please don't forget that I'm a performer. What happened is the other day on my YouTube channel, I posted a video of me reciting a poem that I'd written, and it was about my children going back to school and how that was making me feel. Now, I think I slightly overacted the depression that I might have been feeling, because loads of my friends got in touch thinking I should be on some kind of suicide watch. So please remember, sometimes as actors and performers, we do kind of exaggerate stuff to fit the writing. So thank you for the concern, but I'm absolutely fine. As I said, I'm feeling optimistic. And the last thing I've written down is we should have an end of series 1 sleepover. We'll do a live show one midnight and I will read a bedtime story. Now, the idea about this being series 1, episode 9, was just a throwaway comment someone made, which was if you number all the episodes, people, if they find them in a few months' time, they'll know which order to look at them in. So that's why I decided to call it series 1, episode 1, and so forth. And my idea was there might be 10, there might be 12, there might be 15, but I would call an end to season 1 and have a little bit of a break and a rethink. I don't know when that's going to be, but I like the idea that there'll be an end of season special where I'll be here at midnight in a dressing gown with a mug of cocoa reading you a bedtime story. So, oh, I wanted to keep that bit of paper out of there actually, because the notes that I wrote this week were on the back of last week's sort of draft version of Outfit Roulette, which was my idea of a way of choosing what clothes I was going to wear from one week to the next. So this was the hastily written one last week, and I've upgraded it a little bit to share with you now. So this is version 2 of Outfit Roulette. So I've done it on this nice big bit of paper, so hopefully you can see it. My art teacher would be so proud. Now you'll notice there are colours written down here. That's because I've decided to get rid of the dice, which I don't think you can see on the camera, and use our old friend the Rubik's Cube. So what's written down here is the colours that correspond to the sides of the Rubik's Cube. White and black is because on this mini one there is a black section, but on the bigger one there is a white section. So whichever one I choose to roll, that will be the white or black. So I will roll it 3 times. The first one will correspond to this column here, which will be the outer garments, like this jacket. The second one will be the undergarments, like this shirt. And then I've decided to go for an accessories stroke novelty one, because I had a lovely bit of feedback from someone called Col, C-O-L on YouTube. He said, I love the Outfit Roulette idea, but I think you should throw some of your wife's clothing in too. So we've got a headscarf and some lipstick this week. So we're going to roll the dice and see what we come up with. And I will stick to it however it happens, and then that is what I will wear on next week's show. So hopefully you'll be able to see that, so you'll know I'm not fixing it. I did a trial run of this earlier, and I found that rolling this big one doesn't really work because it just kind of clunks. So I'm going to try rolling the little one, and I'll do it 3 times, and together we'll have a look at this, and we'll decide what I'm going to wear for next week's show. This will probably evolve again, but for this week I'm going to stick to this. And because I don't ever want to wear the same combination again, especially this one, one of the 3 that I select will be scratched off the list and replaced by something new for next week. So we'll give it a go and see how this ends up. So here goes the dice. If I do it here, you should be able to see it. So if I roll that, that is blue. So column 1 is blue. Column 2 is going to be also blue. This isn't loaded, I promise you. And column 3 will be red. So we need blue, blue, red. So next week I will be wearing a stripy Jimmy jacket, as I've called it here. That's because I sometimes do appearances as Jimmy Stewart, and I have a special outfit that I wear for him. So you're going to see me in my stripy Jimmy jacket, my orange deer t-shirt under that, and then red for the final one. I will also be wearing sunglasses. So next week, stripy Jimmy jacket, orange deer t-shirt, and sunglasses. It's not my fault. Blame Outfit Roulette. And that's all we have this week. 53 seconds left, so I've just got time to leave you with a little poem. I think it's okay that we finish under time for a change. And a little poem to end on. There's no such thing as ugly, but sometimes beauty lies beneath. But one thing I've noticed by watching these shows is I've got really ugly teeth. I have to go and drive for 2 hours now to do a socially distanced appearance as Basil Fawlty wearing a visor. That's going to be fun. I will see you next week. Have a great 7 days.